Hey, welcome back to Album April. It's April 25th, and today I listened to Merriweather Post Pavilion by Animal Collective. And I'll get this out of the way right now. No, this album art is not moving. It's actually a variation of the optical illusion Almonds. It's one of those still images that looks like it moves. But anyway, to the album. I actually don't know where I found this when I was looking for stuff to listen to. I think it came up with best pop albums, or maybe best pop albums of the 2000s, something like that. I think when I selected this, I thought that it was the group Animals as Leaders, which is a band I had heard of, but no, it was Animal Collective, which I had never heard of before. But holy moly, the people on the internet could not stop glazing this album. Let me pull up some of the things that critics said about this album. This feels like one of the landmark American albums of the century so far. Is this the flawless album that it's been willed to be? Taken as a whole, I'd say it's pretty damn close. Striking in its immediacy and comes across as friendly and welcoming. I listened to it today, and I feel like I'm getting punked. Not only did I not like this album at all, it is my least favorite album of the entire month. Am I missing something? What am I not getting? This album does kind of have the problem of all the songs sounding very similar, but what that one song over and over sounds like is also very important when discussing my problems with the album. With the exception of two songs that I didn't think were bad, I thought they were okay, but every single other song on this album is 3 or 4 different sections going on at once. There's usually a very strong rhythmic beat, a rhythm section, and then there's an instrumental loop, and then there's the vocals, and none of them are in sync. I think strictly speaking, they are in some very loose time, because there are sections that sort of start and stop at the same time. But all the vocals feel like they're done rubato. Rubato is a term in music that translates to borrowed time, where a person, usually a soloist, will roughly have a metronome that they would follow, but they speed up and slow down for effect. That works fine when it's a solo, when it's one thing, but when you got this really loud, very obvious rhythm pounding right next to you in the mix, it just sounds like the music is falling apart. There was one song where it was this repeated loop of speeding up and slowing down. It was da 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 over and over again. There was another song where the vocal melody had another very specific pattern. It was talk, 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 shove a bunch of words in. Talk, 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 shove a bunch of words in. So not only do you have these multiple different sections that all sound like they're not even being recorded in the same building, but they're all right at the front of the mix, and they're all very loud. I have to give them credit. Psychedelic pop is the perfect way to describe this type of music. It feels like I just took mushrooms, or I'm on an acid trip. I did say there were 2 songs that didn't fit into that category, and there were. It was Summertime Clothes and Bluish. Those 2 songs were fine. With the rest of the songs, I couldn't latch on to anything. I found out after listening to this album that one of the members of Animal Collective was Panda Bear, who made the album Person Pitch, which I listened to either last year or the year before. I didn't like that album very much, but it was not this. I've listened to a fair amount of artsy-fartsy music in the past, but if this is art music, it feels like Dada. It feels like anti-art to me. It has a very fast and loose use of 2 of the most basic musical elements, rhythm and melody. I will fully admit, I have no idea what it is about this album that people like so much. And you know what? I'm not really clamoring to find out anytime soon. Alright, thank you for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.